We are at the midpoint of the month as Tuesday the 14th of February. Happy Valentine's to you all. Good evening and many thanks for joining me for yet another edition of Primetime News. I'm Michael Madimba. The official opening of Parliament headlines tonight's bulletin. President Dr. Hage Geingob this afternoon opened the 7th session of the 7th Parliament. In his remarks, the head of state said that he's looking forward to the tabling of bills that will ensure that the needs and wishes of the people of Namibia are catered for. The 2023 legislative year is guided by the theme, Enhancing Namibia's Parliamentary Democracy Post-COVID-19. Let's have a listen to parts of the President's address.
In many democracies around the world, Parliament is viewed as the embodiment of democratic politics. In Namibia, our Parliament symbolizes our representative democracy and a multiplicity of our political organizations, interests and ideas. The legislative mandate of Parliament must be fulfilled to its fullest degree if we are to become a prosperous nation. There is a pertinent need for you to enact laws that are effective at buttressing the safety and security of our citizens, protecting the most vulnerable members of our society, enabling the growth of industry, as well as promoting investment and economic trade. To this extent, I'm pleased to note that the following bills are likely to be tabled during the course of the year. These are 1. High Court Amendment Bill, 2. Magistrate Court Amendment Bill, 3. Divorce Bill, 4. Child Justice Bill, 5. Ombudsman Bill, 6. Marriage Bill, 7. Uniform Matrimonial Property Regime Bill, 8. Civil Registration and Identification Bill, 9. Roads Bill, 10. Vehicle Mass Bill, 11. Land Bill, and 12. Research, Science, Technology and Innovation Bill.
Staying in the August House. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Peter Kashavivi, has urged members of Parliament to approach the upcoming legislative year with the spirit of cooperation and collaboration, recognizing that their strength lies in their unity and ability to work together for the betterment of the country and its citizens. Let's have a listen.
As we embark on this new legislative year, it is important that we reflect on the progress we have made as a nation. We as parliamentarians must be at the forefront to provide profound legislation, oversight and accountability for the recovery of the national economy and the general improvement of the welfare of our people.
Moving on. University of Namibia School of Medicine Registrar Erica Mas says the institution does not work along tribal lines when it comes to the selection and admission process of students into the medicine program, but rather with specified criteria.
First of all, if we look at the admission scale, the admission evaluation scale that the university is using, and that is widely published and available on our website, it is simply impossible to get more than 45 points. So students who claim that they have 55 or 60 points are either calculating 8 subjects, or I don't know how they are calculating it, because we are counting 5 subjects, and the highest point that you can get if you have your straight A's in 5 subjects at AS level, which is the highest, will give you 45 points. Yes, if there's the odd student that might have done an A level, they may go to 50 points, but definitely not to 55 and 60 points. It is simply not possible. So claims by students that they have 55 points with 5 A's at AS level is simply not true. And I mean, you can look at the scale, you can do the calculations yourself. The question on which was confirmed by Dr. Christians, that yes, somebody could get in with a lower mark in one region compared to another region. Remember that this typically happens in your Hardap, Karas, Kunene, your smaller regions. It will not happen that somebody from Khomas or Shana, or one of the bigger regions with a higher population, you will get a student in with a lower mark because there's more competition there, and as a result, those are the people with the higher marks coming in. So if there are cases where students are coming in with a lower mark, it will be from your marginalized regions, not from your advantaged regions.
Yesterday was World Radio Day, and in commemoration of the 12th edition of World Radio Day, Minister of Information and Communication Technology Dr. Payam Shilinga noted that radio serves as a bridge to democracy whilst laying the groundwork for long-term peace and stability in all parts of the world.
Minister of Information and Communication Technology Payam Shilinga, in a speech read on his behalf by Deputy Minister Emma Theophilus in the capital, said UNESCO this year highlights independent radio as a pillar of conflict prevention and peace building by carrying the media narrative in reporting and informing the public. Using radio as a medium of communication gives Namibia a significant competitive advantage due to its broad and limitless reach, he added. Radio, for example, is available in all local languages in Namibia, ensuring that all citizens have equal access to information, according to the minister. He also stated that the ministry is nearing completion of the community media policy framework, which will strengthen the development of community media in the country, particularly community radio, and thus empower communities at the grassroots level in terms of information access.
Stay tuned for the business segment. Welcome to Primetime Biz, the segment that dissects all things business. Elizabeth Angoji, a selected candidate for the Sewing Training for the MTC for Life project, is a testament that as a person living with disability, one should not focus on their handicap. Rather, the focus should be on self-empowerment. Let's have a listen.
Because I'm a disabled, but I can't look what a disabled I have. But I look I have mind, I can think. I have arm, I can do anything. I just want to tell them that they must not stay home and doing nothing. And they must try to do something.
To be part of this initiative is actually an honor and a privilege for me, coming from a small town. This initiative is actually something that encourages unemployed youth to look forward to helping others also. So, to summarize it in all, MTC for Life has actually changed us young people lives a lot.
So what we're doing, we're also providing our trainees with a starter kit, or rather a toolkit. This is what they are using during the training, and this is what they also take away to be able to start their own businesses. And MTC is also providing 5,000 Namibian dollars, so that if whatever they have in the starter kit is not enough, or just so that it helps sustain them in the business, because we're trying to create sustainability as well, longevity. So yes, they have a starter kit with everything from makeup brushes to foundations to whatever you possibly need for a basic makeup look. And on top of that, $5,000 to help them as they go out there.
Amid multiple financial, health and climate crises affecting the African continent, the UN Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, has urged African countries to introduce pro-poor and inclusive recovery efforts to foster economic transformation. The urgent call was made by UNECA Acting Executive Secretary Antonio Pedro ahead of the 55th session of the UNECA Conference of African Ministers of Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa chief, Antonio Pedro, said the impact of the shocks caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the Ukraine crisis, and climate change have pushed more people into extreme poverty and have increased inequality worldwide. Pedro indicated that pro-poor and inclusive recovery must be deliberately incorporated in the design and implementation of policies, including by securing the input of all stakeholders, such as small and medium enterprises, in such processes. He said the ability of African countries to effectively tackle poverty and inequality has been severely constrained given declining economic growth, narrowing fiscal space, rising debt, commodity shocks, and tightening global financial conditions. The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa chief warned that Africa faces a higher risk of missing the poverty and inequality targets set out in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and Agenda 2063. The 55th session of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa Conference of African Ministers of Finance, Planning and Economic Development 2023 will be held from March 15 to 17. The conference brings together ministers of finance, planning and economic development from African countries, governors of central banks, entities of the United Nations system, and Pan-African financial institutions. Selima Shimwe-Feleni reporting for Nampa News.
That's where we leave it with the top news for this evening. Stay tuned for the economics roundup, followed by the weather forecast. Welcome to Sport Planet. Champions League football headlines tonight's segment. Paris Saint-Germain striker Kylian Mbappe has made a faster than expected return to training ahead of the round of 16 Champions League first leg home tie with Bayern Munich later tonight. After Mbappe suffered a thigh injury against Montpellier on the 1st of February, the club said he would be out for 3 weeks. On Saturday, coach Christopher Holtier said he did not think Mbappe would play on Tuesday. But Mbappe trained on Sunday and on Monday was seen in the part of training which is open to the media, participating in an exercise with Lionel Messi, Neymar, Sergio Ramos, goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma, Marco Verratti, Achraf Hakimi and Marquinhos. Meanwhile, Chelsea may have spent over $603 million on new players, but their first season under new ownership will end without any trophies to show for it, unless they can conquer Europe in the coming months. The Blues will face Borussia Dortmund in the first leg of the Champions League last 16 tie later tonight. Winning the Champions League for a third time could even be Chelsea's best route back into the competition next season, as they sit 10 points adrift off the top 4 in the English top flight. Stand by for your sports roundup. With the sports news, we've come to the end of the Tuesday newscast. Thanks for watching. Do make a date with us tomorrow for the midweek edition of Primetime News. From myself, Michael Madimba, and the collective behind the scenes, remember to spread love. Good night.